What is up, and welcome back to my channel. And recently me and my friends have actually made a server on Minecraft which is on beta 1.7.3, and we've been playing that a lot, and it's quite nostalgic to play as Minecraft was really different back then, and survival was actually, I don't know, it was a lot harder, but there was less stuff to do, so you could be more creative as you weren't just running around trying to figure out what you should do next. I don't know, sometimes it's nice to go back to the simple days of Minecraft and chill out on that, and it's been quite fun. So I thought I'd make a video on the old textures in the game that I think are really cool, and even if they're not as good as the textures now, I just think they have a cool old style feeling to them that makes them kind of better, even if they do look ugly, as a lot of the old blocks did look kind of stupid. But anyway, the first texture that I think is really cool is like the old lava texture. It kind of, I don't know if it looks worse than the new one. I'm not sure if I like the new one as much or the old one. The old one looks kind of like baked beans, which is weird. It looks more fiery and hot, in my opinion. Lava felt more threatening back in the day when it was like a weird baked bean texture, and it felt more like magma-y kind of. But yeah, I really liked that old texture, and it's cool going back to see it on my beta server. I also like to see the old cobblestone texture on Minecraft beta, because although I think it does look worse, as it just has big black lines and very dark shadows on it that don't really fit it, and the new cobblestone texture is much more smooth and stuff, and it fits more builds, but the old one has a really cool nostalgic feel, as when I was a kid I used to watch tons of YouTube videos, and they'd all be on like beta Minecraft because it hadn't been out for that long, and the cobblestone just looked normal to me back then, so the old cobblestone texture kind of reminds me of that, and it's pretty cool to see. But I do think the new one is better. It doesn't really matter to me as the old one is quite nostalgic. It also makes your builds feel kind of like more older and medieval kind of. This is the same for like the mossy cobblestone as well. But I actually think the old mossy cobblestone looks kind of cooler. It makes it seem more mossy, I don't know. And mossy cobblestone used to be really rare back in beta as well, because you couldn't craft it from vines, and so it was a flex to have mossy cobblestone houses. I think Glowstone was changed a little bit from, maybe not from beta, but it has been updated recently. But the old one looks a bit darker, and I'd see it a lot, and I don't really use Glowstone that much anymore, so I do think I prefer the older Glowstone, as it's just more of a classic Minecraft look. Okay, so a weird old texture is the gravel texture. As I just think gravel's a really ugly block anyway, but the old texture isn't as ugly as the new one, I think. I don't know, it looks more like gravel because it's all speckly and looks like little pieces of stones inside it, but the new one is more just grey. The old one actually looks like just a random bits of stones everywhere, but the new one's kind of more boring and dull, and I wouldn't really use it as a pathway, but I might use the old gravel texture to make like a pathway to my house, which is more useful than just a block I don't like. So I'd say I like the beta texture of gravel more than the new one. A texture that's been updated recently that I think is actually better is Netherrack, because the old Netherrack used to look really ugly, but now it's more smoother and like less rough, I'd say. But the old Netherrack does have a more nether vibe, but the new one is just better looking overall. So I'd say the old Netherrack texture is not the best one, but it definitely does remind me of the old days of Minecraft. I also think I much prefer the old wheat textures. They weren't just from beta, they're also the wheat textures in most of the release updates, but now recently they've updated them to like maybe a more wheat looking wheat, but the old one is just much more classic, and you can tell when it's fully grown it goes like a darker yellow and it looks really nice and golden, and the wheat in the inventory actually looks better as well in my opinion. It just suits the Minecraft style more when it used to be more yellow and gold than it is now. But probably my favourite texture from Minecraft beta that got removed when they released the game is the grass, and they haven't really changed the texture of the grass much, but they just changed like the colour is much more vibrant on the old ones and makes the game much brighter and stuff. And the land generation just made it seem so much nicer. I guess the old generation looks less natural, but it just was a nicer terrain to build on and look at, and it made the game much more beautiful. I think when you go back to old versions and see the green grass with the cool land generation, it's just much more nice to look at than the new one. And some of the new biomes in the game that they've been adding just don't suit that nice Minecraft OG look that I remember growing up with. So yeah, I much prefer just grass in the old days when it was really green and nice. Lime green is actually my favourite colour, so it's nice to see like a bright lime grass colour. A really cool feature from Minecraft Pocket Edition as well, from the old days of Pocket Edition, was they had like a blue rose. I don't know if it was instead of a red one, but they had this cool flower which was just a blue rose, and it got removed, and no one knows where it's gone really. I don't know what happened to it, but it would have been cool if they just kept that in Minecraft, because it would just be a nice flower to decorate with. I also like the old Dispensers texture, as it just looked like a weird little face with eyebrows kind of, and it looked a bit angry, but they made the dispenser look a bit more basic in the new updates, but in beta they had a weird angry look to them, which was funny. Anyway, this video is a bit random. I just wanted to talk about some of the cool old beta look, and some of them are actually better, and I like going back to the old beta and seeing the old days of Minecraft. I hope this video was like nostalgic for some of you, or it just taught you about what's changed in Minecraft. And please subscribe, like the video I guess, and comment any ideas of videos you want to see in the future. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.